And we continue to honor the life and the legacy that Kyle Busch leaves behind. We're bringing in this morning NASCAR analyst and two-time Daytona 500 winning crew chief and friend of the show, Larry McReynolds. Larry, always a pleasure talking with you. I know you were here yesterday, just leaving, taping CSL, and you got home and you found out the news of Kyle's passing. What was that like for you when you found out?
Yeah, Jason, I guess, I was there taping with Gabe and Casey, the Around the Track show for this weekend, and I'd already gotten the news that Kyle had been hospitalized, and that was kind of an eye-opening news to hear. Drove home, and basically when I walked in the door, my wife looked at me and said that Kyle had passed away, and I guess I've honestly just spent the last 12 to 14 hours just trying to process it and wrap my arms around it and to try to come to realization that this has really happened. Um, Kyle and I, we never worked together. We probably didn't see some things eye to eye, but I hope Kyle Busch knows that he left this earth with me totally respecting his ability to drive a race car and just what he meant to the sport of NASCAR. We know it's been some lean years for Kyle over the last 3 or 4 years, but I think it's safe to say that he might be one of the greatest race car drivers that's ever gripped the steering wheel of a race car.
Yeah, Larry, I think that's a good way to put it. Even if you are not a big NASCAR fan, right? You have heard Kyle Busch's name. Put into perspective for someone who doesn't follow the sport religiously, just how good of a driver he was and the impact he had on the sport.
Well, when you just think of the success he had, not just in the Cup Series with the 63 wins, but I heard there in the piece before I joined you, 234 wins across the top three series of NASCAR. I did a little math last night. I think he started 1,313 races across the top three series. So if you do the math, that's almost an 18% win percentage. The winningest driver the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series has ever seen, the winningest driver the O'Reilly Series has ever seen. And you think back to 2018 when he won that Coke 600 there at Charlotte Motor Speedway, a race we're going to run this weekend. At that time, now tracks have been added, he had won a race at every racetrack the Cup Series had raced on. And the fact that he went 19 consecutive years with winning at least one Cup race, and I don't want to take anything away from Bobby Labonte or Denny Hamlin or Martin Truex Jr., but I think 10, 15, 20 years from now, when we think about Joe Gibbs Racing and their success, we're going to think about Kyle Busch.
Speaking about some of the remarkable things that Kyle pulled off, I mean, you as a crew chief, you work with these drivers, you know what it takes to put a race car together. Can you talk about the ability it takes to race all three races in a weekend and win all three, not once, but he swept twice. Doing that, the toll it takes on your body getting behind the car for all three races. I mean, can you talk about what an amazing feat that is and to do it 2 times?
Well, and oh, by the way, at Bristol Motor Speedway, a high bank half-mile track where you're going around there in about 14 to 15 seconds. And I actually did a piece for our recent Bristol race, NASCAR on Fox. A driver goes through almost 3 Gs at both ends of that racetrack. And you think about the Cup race, the O'Reilly Series race, and the Truck race, that's roughly 1,000 laps in the course of a 3-night period. And trust me, all three of those vehicles, they all drive totally different. But I think that just shows you what a fierce competitor that Kyle Busch was. The biggest thing with Kyle Busch, and once again, I never worked with Kyle. I never prepared a race car that raced against him because I had already turned broadcaster when he came along, is Kyle demanded perfection from his race team. But the biggest thing, Kyle demanded perfection from himself. And I think that's what made him so good. I always like to say he hated losing more than he enjoyed winning, but I think that's what made him the race car driver that he was.
Larry, I want to switch gears a little bit here because, yes, he will be remembered, especially this weekend. Accolades, the numbers and the stats, they all speak for themselves. But maybe the two toughest courses that he ever tried to tame in his life were being husband and dad. And I would think those in his closest circle are going to be remembering those things. You know, most of us only know the NASCAR, Kyle Busch. You, I know, didn't work with him, but from what you're hearing from the inner NASCAR circle, what are you hearing about the personal life, that kind of Kyle Busch?
Well, I think we started seeing a different Kyle Busch, let's just say over the last 5 to 8 years. And I don't think it's completely because he wasn't winning as many races as he was for so many years. But I think it's that family right there. And of course, now he even has a daughter, Lennox, that was born after you see this championship right here. But Kyle Busch, he was not passionate about a lot of things, but things that he were very passionate about was the sport of NASCAR, the NASCAR fans, and his family. He truly loved his family, and it just warmed my heart so much to see how he was working so hard to grow Brexton's racing career. And no matter what kind of weekend Kyle was having, if a reporter asked him about Brexton and his racing, you could just see Kyle light up because I think he was seeing so much of himself in Brexton going back to when Kyle first started racing when he was about 6 years old.
Larry, we could talk about Kyle for much longer with you, but we know that his legacy and tribute are going to be discussed all weekend long. Larry Mack, America's Crew Chief, thank you so much for taking the time to join us this morning to talk about a legend in NASCAR.
Well, I certainly appreciate it, and I just want everybody to know our thoughts and prayers go out to Samantha, the kids, Tom and Gay Busch, his parents, Kurt, his brother, and the NASCAR fans, because we know Rowdy Nation, the Kyle Busch fans, they are truly hurting. I've watched and listened to a lot of the interviews, and I don't want to take them for granted either.
All right, Larry, thank you for your time. We appreciate that so much. Have a good weekend.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.